What's up guys, and welcome back to the Rise of Empires guide. I'm Kalistos, and today I'm gonna give you guys an update on the game I am developing. I know I haven't been posting anything about it since the release video, so this is what we're gonna be doing today. I'm gonna be talking about all the things that I've done and at what stage I'm at with it. So let's kick in the intro and begin. Okay, so before we talk about the game, I have a small announcement, and maybe you've already noticed that I have a new microphone and the sound is so much better with it. And that's not because I had a bad microphone before that. I love my Blue Yeti microphone, but I was using that for stuff like recording singing. It's an awesome and quite expensive microphone for having on a desk, but not something that I can use for stuff like I'm doing here because of the green screen. Yeah, this part. And because of the placement, I have to keep the microphone away, and the distance is what creates the echo and gives the freedom of capturing more sounds than it should, not because I had a bad microphone from before. But with this one, having it on me and closer to my mouth means it's almost no echo and much more clearer sounds, and thank God for it. Let's hope the comments stop now about get a new microphone, Kalistos. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's talk about the game. Now, before I bore you with all the detailed programming things and all the stress I had over and over and over, let's talk about the visual stuff, because I know most of you guys just prefer to see that part. Now, visually, I haven't done a lot. I've tried to focus more on the concept of the game, which is it's supposed to be on a dedicated servers for you guys to all connect into one single world. But I will discuss about how that went later in the video. What I did inside the world besides that, I've added the iron mines with a few extra animations. They look pretty good because they have quite a few details for it. And I also added the marble mines. Now, the marble mines have nothing there, like they're literally a pile of rocks. So the best thing I'm probably gonna be doing at the final stage is add an animated AI hitting those rocks to make it more entertaining, but other than that, it's just a pile of rocks. Besides that, I also went on working on the balloon trader. This again, pretty simplistic, just a building there, but what I did want is to have the animated balloon the same like in the game. I wanted it to arrive from somewhere distant, land on the building, stay there for a while, and then go back to wherever it came from. And it sounds simple, but considering I have no idea what I'm doing here, it took much longer than it should. Trust me, I've went through a lot of tutorial videos, a lot of try and error to get to the stage that I'm at now. But in the end, it does work. The balloon is doing what it's supposed to be doing, which is go and come back in the same spot over and over and over. Besides that, you may have noticed that I've also added a lot more houses to the city. I wanted to have a more clear idea of how the city would look like, more populated with buildings, to have a better understanding of what I want to add to it. Besides the houses, I also added an army of AI. They don't actually do much, they just are set to randomly walk around the city. Now, at the end of the entire thing, I'm most probably gonna take them out, because I would prefer, instead of the army of AIs, to have an army of players walking around the city. But for now, I just wanted to have a feeling. Anyway, I'm gonna have a few random AIs in the world to simulate the workers and all the armies that are walking around your Rise of Empires castle. But for now, they will have to do. Another thing I worked on was the main menu, and I didn't go too crazy. I just wanted to add a main menu, have a character select for it. Again, it sounds simple, but it actually took quite a bit of work. In the end, I did manage to make it happen. I've added a bit of a nice animation for the intro before you see the main menu, and once you click enter ROE, you will also have a character select. For the characters, I've added the free characters that you can download from Unreal Engine Marketplace from the Paragon game, just to have a nicer feeling to the characters. But probably in the end phase of the game, I will put self-made characters for it and something more simplistic, as considering that I want a lot of players in the world, I don't want all that graphic to lag everybody out. And this is pretty much it for the visual part of what I've been doing in the game. Now let's talk about the actual things that took a very long time and a lot of stress in my life, which was making a dedicated server. Now, to not make it too complex, for you guys to connect from your phone to the world that I'm creating, that world will kind of have to be a dedicated server somewhere on the internet. I will have to pay for a hosting system and then put the server there, and every time you guys enter the game, it will connect you to that specific server. Now, making the dedicated server and the client was a lot of work. It took a bit of time, but not a lot of problems. It kind of smoothly went on, even though it took a while. But I managed to make it. I had a dedicated server on my computer, and I used a client version on my phone. I connected with my phone to the server, and voila, we have a connection. I can finally connect to the world. At least that's what I thought. Now the issue was when I tried to do the same thing online. Because you see, the reason why my phone was able to connect to the server was because both the server and the phone were on the same LAN network. And the moment I tried to go through the connection from internet, it didn't work. And I went through a lot of forums and a lot of tutorial guides and more videos to try and figure out how or why it's not working. And after a lot of time, I finally managed to get to the bottom of the problem, which was the port I was using for the server. Unreal Engine 4 uses a specific port to make the connection between the server and its clients, and I had to have my server connected through that port. Once I figured that out, it was all a matter of going into my router and tell my router to give a connection through that specific port to my server, which I did, and it didn't work. Again, forum after forum after forum, trying to figure out what I'm still doing wrong. Now the problem was not the game, was not what I was doing, it was the fact that even though I told my router to give a connection through that specific port to my computer, the provider that was giving internet to the router was not letting me use that port. So I was kind of stuck there. You see, in the end game, I will get a host online, and that host will be put on that specific port, so there will be no problems. But until I get there, I want to have that connection so I can test everything I'm doing for the world before I start paying for an online hosting system. And I just cannot make it because of that stupid port. There are other options of free hosting for stuff like this, like for example using Steam, but the problem with Steam is I cannot do it with mobile connections. I will have to do the server and the client as a PC Windows version, which most probably I will have to do at least until I test everything out and until I develop the game, and right at the end where I think everything works out fine, I will reconfigure it to be for mobile phones, but for now I will have to redo the entire dedicated server for a lower version, because the version I'm using now is the exact version that is not working for Steam. So it was more work for absolutely no reason. And once I do that, I will make the server on Steam for Windows, and then I will use that as my testing system. Maybe I'm even gonna give you guys a glimpse if you want to connect through the PC client version, but that's gonna be for a later use, because remember, all I'm doing here is for free. I have no sponsor, nobody helping or supporting me to do this project, besides all the videos that I have to do for both Rise of Empires and War and Order. And now I also have the new relation with Gamersi, which I'm gonna be doing a video about soon enough to show you guys the awesome phone cases I'm getting from them and you guys can also get. But if you do want to support all the work, not just the game part, but also the videos that I'm making for you guys, you can do it with only $5. You can buy me a coffee. With only $5, you can become a Patreon. If you want to support me, you can do it like that. You can also buy yourself a Gamersi phone case with a 20% discount, and that will also bring a bit of an income to me. Either way, it's gonna take a while. I said it from the very start, I'm not a programmer, I'm not a 3D designer. Everything I'm doing is self-taught. A lot of videos on YouTube, tutorials and everything. So I cannot tell you how long it's going to take or how the final product is gonna look until I get there, but I will try to keep you guys updated with everything I do for it. Right, I think I've taken enough of your time. Thanks again for checking in, guys. Remember to leave a like if you enjoyed the content, subscribe for more content, and of course, I'll see you guys in the next videos.
I'm finally facing it all, fearless.